It's a gorgeous day in Kyoto, and Naomi is on his way to school. He's a total introvert. He reluctantly agrees to join the library club and goes that day. There, he realized he didn't have the phone number of a girl named Ruri Ikiju. He approaches Ruri Ikiju and inquires about her absence from the group conversation. Ruri, on the other hand, offers him her number in a diary. Naomi then walks back home. On his walk back, he notices a crowd forming in the street as a weird crimson light streams from the structure they are gazing at. Suddenly, the world around him begins to change, and he is returned to reality only to see a man appear in front of him. That guy, on the other hand, follows Naomi with a crow. Naomi dashes to the railway station to escape. He believes he has fled, but right next to him was the same person again. Naomi wakes up, and it was all a dream. Never mind. He sees the same crow again. He now has no option but to meet him. When they meet, they see a project that saves information from all throughout the city. Naomi followed the odd man by train to the edge of a river. As they near the river, the hooded man confesses that he is Naomi from 10 years later, and he has come to change reality. He begins by detailing how the drones flying throughout the city are gathering data for the storage facility we visited earlier. The man then throws a bombshell. The Naomi we've known for so long was merely data recorded by these drones, and the white-hooded man was the genuine Naomi from the real world retrieving this data. Future Naomi takes Naomi to the top of the building and begins to explain why and how he would fall in love with Ruri in 3 months. He claims that they were in love and that everything was going well until one evening when he lost her. They were both attending a fair when a lightning-struck tree crashed on her and killed her. He missed her terribly, which is why he came here to change the facts. Our Naomi chooses to assist the true version of himself, and they both decide to shake on their new contract. Future Naomi had limited powers in that universe, therefore he granted her strength through this handshake. He also gifts him a crow that morphs into a glove. Concerning his newfound abilities, Naomi begins training in the bush with his new sensei. Naomi's powers were enhanced by the crow's transformation into a glove. He could access everything and everything since he was a bit of data within a computer. As long as he wore the glove, the items he imagined may be real. With his abilities, he could literally make anything. It was all an illusion, but the objects might help him save Ruri when the time comes. Naomi had to continue on the road of the real Naomi if he wanted to fall in love with Ruri. Following Sensei's orders, he boards the train with Ruri and acts what Sensei directs. However, he ends up improperly molesting her. Naomi apologizes shortly after for leaving a bookmark on the train, and as they become closer, they start sending letters to each other. Everything is going as planned. Meanwhile, he is learning to create iron and has begun studying defense methods in order to save Ruri. His efforts soon pay off, as he can now manufacture copper with his hands. One day, they begin to discuss their favorite novels. At the end of the day, Naomi admits that he likes her and Ruri agrees to date. Naomi's dating life is going just as planned. Sensei is pleased with the progress. Finally, the day of the fire festival has arrived. Ruri is happily reading a book in her room, while they both keep a watch on her, making sure she does not leave the home. But suddenly the system's guard appears. These strange-looking masked guys encircle Naomi, making it hard for him to flee. However, he employs all of the strength he learned during his training. The guards have also entered Ruri's residence and encircled her. Ruri and Naomi are suddenly taken to a bridge guarded by strange soldiers. Naomi then kills all of the guards in one sweep, rescuing Ruri. Ruri was finally secure, and they both breathed a sigh of relief. Naomi hugs Ruri, and as the fireworks explode behind them, he moves in for a kiss. Sensei suddenly discloses his genuine motivation. Ruri died on that day, yet she never truly died. She was only in a coma. His motivation is to use Ruri's data to resurrect her. Sensei then takes her data and returns to the actual world to resurrect Ruri. Everyone at the event is taken aback by what has transpired. Naomi couldn't believe it. He slides down the steps and begins to sob. Back in the actual world, Sensei was able to resurrect Ruri. Sensei hugs her and hands her the bookmark that had brought them together. Ruri's brain was harmed in the accident. Sensei, on the other hand, never abandoned his affection. He attends university and learns about memory storage technologies. He works in labs and conducts numerous experiments in order to create a mechanism that can teleport him into the past, and he was successful. The guards had returned to Kyoto, the capital of the digital world. Naomi, on the other hand, was helpless, so he ran and hid from the guards. Sensei and his crew are now erasing the entire system. As a result, every piece of information in Kyoto City gradually begins to rise. The structures began to float away, and everything was being lifted up into the sky and vanished. The guards were still pursuing Naomi. Naomi realizes he's going to die. He cries up when he thinks about Ruri. He still wants to make sure she is secure. As a result, he chooses to float away with the rest of the knowledge in the city. Here, he could still see and feel everything, and although feeling as if he were dead, he was very much alive. He then finds himself in a house-like building with the same crow. The crow approaches him and tells him that the system is being reset. Naomi is aware that his Ruri and he will be wiped shortly. Despite Naomi's powerlessness, he attempts to utilize his memories and materialize the gloves. Surprisingly, he manages to obtain the gloves. He then vanishes using the power of the glove. Meanwhile, Sensei visits a recovered Ruri in the real world. He moves in for a kiss, but Rory stops him, claiming that he isn't the genuine Naomi. Before Sensei could speak, the entire area was surrounded by the same strange soldiers. The guards storm the room, slap Naomi to the ground, and begin strangling Rory. Naomi from the past appears out of nowhere with his magical gloves and saves Rory. As they cuddle, Rory recognizes him as Naomi, but the battle is far from over. There are a lot of them. Naomi sprints as quickly as he can, but he is stopped near a bridge. These guards have now encircled the whole area. The sensei, on the other hand, is here to assist. He provides a vehicle for them to escape in. As they flee, they change paths and eventually come to a stairway. Naomi then utilizes his abilities to enter the virtual world. He invites Rory to proceed after she thanks Sensei for his affection. Naomi the Elder realized he had no right to keep Naomi's Rory with him. The guards were still following, and they've all united to make a massive monster. Meanwhile, Naomi and Sensei are out on the streets fighting the monster. Sensei realizes that everything is a jumble because there were two of him at the same area. While they are all still attempting to protect the system seeks to overwhelm Naomi. Seeing this, Sensei chooses to sacrifice himself. His Rory was gone, thus he had no place to remain here. Meanwhile, the professor in the lab overburdens the system to rebuild the globe. When Naomi reopens his eyes, he finds himself in a strange world, a location where Naomi and Rory can be together. This wasn't their actual world, but as long as they were together, it was. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe and watch my other videos if you're into my content.